Besides you. How many days so far?
40 something. The red one, I hope. I'll make a comment if it works. In the moment that you were to me, I'm sorry. We want to live in the sun. We must hear me. You're the light in my deepest darkness. You're my savior. Ain't everything I care for you, and you know that it's all everything. It's me, you. Breaking us down when we are just me. We belong to you. Come to me,
John, how are you, sir?
Then here we go. I can say this guy's name. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. For those of you that we didn't see last week at the Business Expo, Happy New Year. Welcome to our first New Year back at the King's Hub. Thank you so much for being here today. It is wonderful to see you all as always. And if you are joining us virtually, put your name in the chat and we'll figure it out at some point to see
We
you
got
as
it.
well in the YouTube world.
We got it.
We got it.
Yeah.
Excellent. We will find out if there's anybody in there shortly. To start off our day, we're going to invite Dean Hanks up to the podium to read the four-way test. Now we've got Dean Hanks coming. Notes to read the four-way test.
Does anybody know the four-way test?
Yeah.
Yeah, and why? Because right about when you're still chewing, you get up and you four-way test, the thing saying there, you just recite it, right? You think about it. Do you live it? Well, we changed it up today. There are words that go along with this that I found. This is a very old thing, the four-way test. So almost 100 years old if we're to do this. Thing is
it
true? And that's responsible. When you think about that, think with clarity, transparency, fact checking, which I understand Facebook doesn't do anymore, and ethical behavior. Those are the amplifiers to is it the truth. Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Are we being inclusive? Are we providing? Are we really acting in a place of empathy, acceptance, belonging, and accountability when we're being fair? Third,
and better friendships.
do we develop trust with individuals? Do we try to do good in all the things we do? Do we feel good in what we're doing? This club is great at doing that, I think. And do we have fun sometimes? It's just okay to have fun because that makes for good partnerships. And fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
do we play out what-if scenarios? Do we do trade-offs? Are we creative and innovative? And are we really thinking about making decisions that benefit our entire community and everyone in our community? Thank you very much.
You may all be seated. Thank you. Dean, that's amazing. Thank you for bringing that to us because I had never seen that before. Jessica, you do that great. You were perfect. No, let me see. Now for our land acknowledgement, just Dora.
It's Cora, ladies and gentlemen. We acknowledge that our meeting today is taking place on the traditional homeland of the Puyallup people. We acknowledge that this land was not freely ceded to the settlers who claimed it. We recognize and honor the significance of this land and its waters to the Puyallup people who have lived on and stewarded this land for centuries and continue to do so today.
Thank you, Jessica. And now Barbara Watson is up here for a reflection. Barbara, the podium is yours. Woo!
How to be really alive. To be really alive, you've got to feel the breeze, not the hurricane, but the whispers in the trees. Dance in the kitchen when no one else can see. Skip to Rotary to be welcomed by President Chris SMC. Listen to the program with Bates College Press, Dr. Jones, who will speak of the college's passion and purpose. She's a dynamo. To be really alive, taste life's delights, the spice of whispered secrets, the splendor of the northern lights. The world is full of wonders. Let the adventure begin. Breathe a little deeper. Take your dreams out for a spin, like Ruth and Anil, our students from the Rotary Youth Exchange who traveled across oceans, meadows, and a mountain range. Grab a fresh ripe tomato and pluck it from the vine. Later take a glass filled with white, red, or sparkling wine, because that is what's going to happen on April 26th at our Rotary Gate auction, because the committee is cooking up quite a dynamic concoction. Honor your days following the tests that make Rotarians stand tall. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? True. To be really alive, let the magic of Rotary flow through you.
We're getting fun little reflections. We're learning more about the four-way test. It's a great way to start off the year already. If you are a visiting Rotarian or a member with a guest here today, please stand. And Kathy Willis is going to bring around the microphone. Visiting Rotarians, please tell us where you are visiting from. Members, please introduce your guests. And I know there's quite a few today, which is amazing.
Well, I'm Don Hanson, and I brought my wife here today, Jean Hanson. Good morning, Rotarians. Happy New Year. I would like to introduce Annika Fraga. She is with Associated Ministries, and she was at a Financial Insights Christmas party, and Pete and Christine Taylor invited her to join us today. So please welcome her.
Hi, Brian Elwood with Tacoma Investment Group. In our family, one year my wife had just one too many on New Year's Eve, and so it's not Happy New Year, it's Chappy New World. So, Chappy New World to all. This is the first meeting I've been to for this year. My guest today is David Belhar, who's interested in joining Rotary. David is a retired electrician from the Puget Sound shipyards. He worked there for 48 years. Welcome, David.
I'm Doug Johnson. This is my friend Frank Jackson. He's with the Tacoma Rescue Mission. Frank is playing an important role in the Village project in Spanaway, Washington. 3 weeks ago, they broke ground on 285 microhouses. Yep. And I'm recruiting him for Rotary. And if you guys wanted to hear more, learn about it, get a tour, come find him afterwards. And I'm just saying, if you guys would want him to come and present more about in depth what they're doing, I'm sure that Frank would be willing to do that.
I'm not sure if visiting Rotarians are going now. Steve Soffa visiting from Lakewood Rotary. Happy to be here.
Morning, Jim Tanas, Tacoma 8. Honored to introduce, he's going through the gauntlet now, everyone. Ken Thomas, retired police chief, Des Moines, Kent, and his vocation is security. So he owns a private security firm.
you, Mother. I am Kirsten Willis, and I'm super excited to introduce Lacey Kuckelman. Dang it, say it. Kuckelman. She's the owner of Zenith West Gym, a gymnastics museum. So she had her first orientation today, and she will be introduced shortly.
Randy, who do we have joining us virtually today?
We have one, Fred Matei.
Yay! And welcome to our visiting Rotarians and guests here today. Thank you for joining us. Now, it's the start of a new year and a new month, which means we've got some birthdays to celebrate for January. And while Becky's on her way up, we're going to talk about our anniversaries we're celebrating this week as well. It's a big one. Buck Thompson, 71 years. Chris Cole, 65 years. And Doug Page, 12 years. Becky, let's celebrate some birthdays.
Good afternoon. Is it on?
You're gonna swallow it.
Just eat it, right? Okay. Good afternoon, Rotarians. With our birthday recipients that are here, make their way up front. It's Diane Kelleher, Barb Wyatt. I don't believe Lynn Zhao is here. Don Hansen, there you are. Come on over. Come on over. Thank you. So I'll be the first to admit that I failed in one of my key responsibilities this week, which was to hit send on an email that was ordering some books for each one of you. Books that would have been donated to the Little Free Library System. So I'll take care of that. But it's not that I haven't been busy this week. Yeah. The Little Red Cross is a little bit busy this week. So, but the question that I pose to each one of you is, tell me about your favorite read or book from 25 years ago.
Well, I can't remember 25 years ago. So it's the best book we read 25 years ago?
Yeah, favorite.
Well, let's see. Well, probably Dave Dawson in Dunkirk. That was more than 25 years ago, but that's a book that I remember from those times. There you have it.
Stay up here. Dave Dawson and Dunkirk? In Dunkirk, right? All right. Or what?
I finally read a book that I bought for my son into the year 2000, but I bought it for him in 3 years prior when we were traveling in England. And friends were saying, you've got to buy this book for your son. It's really, really good. Just came out, hardback, no paperbacks. So I went ahead and I plunged and I bought a hardback book for a 12-year-old. Finally, 3 years later, in the year 2000, I read it. It was called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. First edition.
All right, Diane.
I was really excited to go back to my bookshelf and realize that one of my favorite books was published in 1999, and I probably read it in 2000, which was Barbara Kingsolver's Poisonwood Bible. Yay. Read anything by Barbara Kingsolver, she's amazing. But that's the best.
Yes. I don't know why you're asking me this question because I was only 3 years old. Well, so 25 years ago, I started my life in the United States without English ability, without speaking English ability. So I have been thinking about 25 years ago. What I did was I was a student, ESL student at Lake Washington Technical College in Kirkland. And I read a lot of books with highlights and notes. So I'm not able to tell you the book because it's for ESL students. But again, I was only 3 back then.
I knew that would happen. I just knew that would happen. So in addition to these wonderful celebrants, there's one more answer that I thought I would share with you. And this one comes from Carol Dixon. whose birthday is being celebrated as well. Carol Dixon said his favorite read 20 years ago was an IRS refund letter. So happy birthday, and again, I'll get books out to the Little Free Library in your honor.
Thank you, Becky. And now, we're in the new year, which means something's coming up a little bit later in the next few months. And Sharon Vincent's going to come up and tell us a little bit about that. Sharon, what could it be that you're talking about?
Well, I'm here today to invite all of you to step into the spotlight to one of the biggest events besides the Grammys or the Emmys or the Oscars or the Tonys, right here in Tacoma on April 26th. So get your phones out and put it on your calendars. What we're needing from you is, number one, when the tickets become available, be sure to buy them. Raffle tickets will be available soon, and you can be able to purchase those. But really important right now is we're still seeking sponsors for our event, but we need each of you to really think outside that box and get those procurement items in. And I know every year we all have intentions of, oh, yes, I'm going to donate. But let's not wait until April 22nd to get it in because it will not be cataloged properly. Let's get it in early and have fun with that. So this is a time to dress up so you can watch the award shows that are currently running now on TV, and you might get inspired to what you can wear, or you can wear your tennis shoes and your jeans. It's okay. Just add the diamonds. It's all right. So I'm looking at Ben Bridge to loan me a bunch of diamonds and emeralds. Although I'm really partial to pearls. So anyway, April 26th, put on your calendar, procurement. The forms are on your desk. We want to give a real shout out to those who have stepped to the plate and are currently our sponsors. And I will just run through a quick list of those. And as Buck Thompson, Financial Insights, Heritage Bank, Catherine Nelson, Timberland Bank, Carol and Chris Webster, Barry and myself have our sponsors. Community Healthcare, Michelle Johnson, Jim and Deb Tanas, Clay Zhang, Marcia Spurns, Cindy Brady, Donna Hayes, Rusty Hersey, and Kathleen Wilson. Kathy Willis, not Kathleen Wilson. Anyway, thank you, sponsors. They're really, that's the backbone to our auction. And we look forward to seeing it.
Thank you, Sharon. And now, we want to thank our meeting sponsor for this week, and that's John Schneider from Edward Jones Investments. Come on down, John.
Thanks, Gil. So I had some prepared remarks to kind of talk about financial planning, and I got a couple of emails yesterday and today regarding projects. So I'm going to kind of donate my time to projects today. So we've got a couple good things coming up. First, we've got the Emergency Food Network that's doing a repack on the 1st. Actually, no, that's Safe as in Paul is doing their sort on the 1st, and that's from 10:30 to 1. And then Emergency Food Network is doing it on Valentine's Day, and that's breakfast from 7 to 9, and then lunch from 11 to 2. We also have a few other things. I'm going to call on Carol Webster. Carol Webster, would you have a few remarks on Read to Me?
Thanks, John, for donating a few minutes to me. Maybe all of you, except if you're new to Rotary, remember the project that we all participated in. It was called Read to Me. And then during COVID, the schools closed. We weren't able to go in and tutor the children. After COVID, the first year after, the schools were still a little nervous. So Read to Me kind of faded away. And those of us who remember our dear former Rotarian, Peter Darling, wanted to do something in his name to reinvigorate, restart Read to Me. And members of our own Rotary Club have been involved with me in trying to get it started again. Corey, we see Dorothy Lewis, Stacy, and former President Gray. Recently, we met with Tacoma Community House because they have been the administrative agency of Read to Me. Right now, they don't have the funding to sponsor a coordinator. And we were talking about, well, how could we help Read to Me start up again? I've been meeting with the schools. They are no longer willing to have a pull-out program as Read to Me used to be. Read to Me was in the 4 lowest income schools in Tacoma. Students who were, let's say, the weakest readers in grades 1 through 3 were pulled out of the classroom and met with those of us who were volunteers in another classroom. And we helped them read. If it was phonics, it was learning a few sight words, we helped them read. And in fact, Tacoma Public Schools gave Read to Me an award. But now they don't want to have a pull-out program. Tacoma Community House, which was the former administrative agency, invited us to a meeting. Corey and Greg were able to come. Dorothy and Stacy weren't able to come on that day. And we figured out what I will now call Read to Me 2.0. So instead of directly tutoring the children, we are going to work with TCH to help tutor the parents who have come as immigrants and refugees, and they are trying to improve their English. Now, if these parents can improve their English, they will be able to read with their children. These are the children who traditionally speak only their first language at home, not English. So here's what I want you to know. We are able to go and volunteer to something called Talk Time. It's only 1 hour. You have no preparation. It'll be one of the most heartwarming and fascinating things you've ever done. So on the first time it's going to happen is a week from today. You can volunteer at 10:30, at 1:30, or 6:30 in the evening. You will be introduced to a group of refugees and immigrants. It's almost like speed dating. You will say, hello, my name is Carol. Your name is John. Where are you from, John? And you will speak to this person for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then you'll move along to another refugee and immigrant. My husband and I have done it several times. You will love it. And we will see that it gets into the gear shift the times that you can volunteer. Thank you.
One last announcement is that previous announcements for projects, I was talking about a project we were working on with the Scouts here in the area, and they have a project going on at Camp Thunderbird to do landscaping and build what they call the mini DACs. They're basically Adirondack cabins. And they're not building it, but they are doing some of the landscaping tomorrow and Saturday. If you have a pen and paper handy, you would just email Andrew Sisolak at andrew.sisolak at scouting.org, and he'd be happy to get you on the list for tomorrow and or Saturday. So thank you all.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Carol. It's nice to have that program 2.0 version going again. Now for our program today, Diane Tilster is going to come up and introduce our speaker.
Good afternoon, you intrepid Rotarians and guests. It's my honor this morning to introduce Lynn as our speaker. She really did me a huge solid because we had missed today's date in our calendar for some reason. I don't know how that happened. Because the programs were booked up until almost May. So anyway, I serve on the KBTC Association board with Lynn, so I've gotten to know her a little bit better as a person. And I'm always impressed with how important it is to Lynn that her students at Bates Technical are successful. In fact, I saw her last night at the governor's inaugural ball, and she was behind the scenes supporting her students who were there providing food for the masses. I mean, masses. So, and they were doing an excellent job. So today I want to give a warm Rotary welcome to Lynn as our speaker.
Thank you, Dan. Before I start, I do want to say thank you everyone here. Especially when I heard talk time. When my husband and I come to this country, we went to a church for talk time. Really helped us. And there are the people like you open your arms to welcome us. Because when we come to this state or come to the country, we have no friends, nobody. And we had to start everything over again as a professional, I consider. It was really, really hard, especially for me as a woman. I thought I was very independent when I was in China. But coming here, my husband got a job first as a programmer, and I couldn't speak English. I didn't want to think about, I have to rely on my husband on every single thing. But with the help with the community and the people like you really gave me the hope and helped me to grow as a person. I always like to talk about, I was an ESL student, but I was able to get my PhD later. I was a classified employee trying to learn everything in a 2-year college in Washington State, and then become college president. It's not because it's not about my brain, about how hard I work. Of course, I work very hard, but it is really about the people who surrounded me, like Dr. Johnson, who's here, who I consider my mentor and a good friend, good colleague, and my also dear colleague, DM. We just had a meeting this morning, general manager of KBTC. I'm having so many friends and people around me, so I can do what I do today. And of course, Deanne and the Dean, thank you so much for serving on our KBTC board. This is not something I can stop talking. I always tell a lot of people, I was invited to talk to immigrants like me. I always tell them, be open. People here, they try to help us all the time, but we need to be able to adopt. We need to be able to learn. So thank you very much for that. Okay, as a technical college president, I'm just saying, okay. And I didn't tell you, I started with an IT degree at Lake Washington because I want to continue to improve my English. And my husband said, why don't you consider IT? And he would help me with my homework. And I thought that's a good deal. I started and he lied. Here is why. When I asked him a question, he wants to be my teacher. He wants to tell me why from A to B I wanted to get C. So I was so frustrated. And I tried, I don't know, do we have any programmer in the house? So I tried C++ is a language. I found out it's just not for me. I rather work with people instead of zeros and ones. So please forgive me about my technical skills. Well, again, thank you very much for inviting me here. I felt guilty. I was telling Karen, I'm part of this Rotary, but I'm not really been participating. I give myself the excuses. I want to take care of my college first. So in that way, I am very selfish. But I wanted to show you what we have done as a technical college in Tacoma. I think everybody know about Bates or heard or have a family member or friends who went to Bates. So BASE is one of the 5 technical colleges in Washington State. Together, we have 34 community and technical colleges. When we talk about a college, we always talk about enrollment. Why? Because we want to help students to move from high school or from whatever level to the next stage in their life. And as a technical college, our job is really to prepare students to work. And then years ago, BASE was started in 1940 as a part of Tacoma School District. And back then, we were called a job school. And I like that. I always want to go back and call us a job school, but my marketing director said, no, we're a college. But anyway, so I took the job as the president in 2018. Do not ask me, it was quite a story. I just want to share with you, we're doing a great job today, and we have been doing a wonderful job. So before the pandemic, we were serving a little over 3,000 students. But then, of course, when the pandemic started, it really hit us very hard. Especially for technical programs, we teach students to work on machines, fix cars, cooking. You can't really do that virtually. So we had to change ways to help our students, but definitely enrollment was okay. Oh. Okay. But I'm happy to report over the last several years, our enrollment is growing. And this is not just the number, this is the representative of our families. You know, when students come to us, whether they are high school students or someone wants to change career, we help them to learn something new so they can find a job that better fits them and maybe making more money to support their family. So I'm just very happy. And this winter quarter, we just started January 2nd, our enrollment compared to last winter already 16% up. Yeah, and we are very strong on apprenticeship programs. Apprenticeship programs is a little different than the regular students who come to the college. And we have those agreements with unions, with JTCs. You know, by offering apprenticeships, when you talk about the cost and the expenditures, sometimes you cannot really compare with students taking English class. But I felt that's a technical college's mission or responsibility to continue to support our unions. That's why our number with apprenticeships programs also continue to grow. I'll continue testing my technical skills. So how many of you know we have, at this technical college, we have a technical high school? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the support. Just want to let you know, I did give her $50 earlier, so she will do this. So we have our own technical high school. We run our own district. So that means high school students between 16 and 21 years old, they can come to BASE directly, enroll at our technical high school, and they're taking the 2-year programs while they're working on their high school diploma. So I have a 16 years old at our South Campus. I just met him working on auto body program. His uncle, his older brother, all graduated from the same program. And he told him he wants to be a sales, but he wants to know the cars and everything so he can be a very successful salesperson. And I remember his brother, also a high school student, come to us. So we have many successful stories. We got 18 years old, graduating from HVAC program, making $40 an hour. And I don't think she's in the photo, but when First Lady came to visit us 2 years ago, First Lady was very, very impressed. And we have very high enrollment in high school in some programs like automotive, welding, electrical construction, even culinary arts. Last night we have high school students working at the booth at the Governor's Mall. And this is our high school only enrollment. 60 years ago, I had high school counselor come to talk to me. He said, Lynn, how many high school students you think we should have? I said, as many as possible. You know, in a way, the reason I really admire and respect Dr. Johnson is, I think in a way I'm really like her, very aggressive, right? I say it in a positive way because I don't want people to think I'm bad. But for years, we have been serving around 300 to 250 high school students for many, many years. But I said, no, we want to grow that population. So now we have almost 700 students, just high school students. And, there are always some competition from, I think the first one is from Seattle Times. It's called, the best, whatever, right? So we got the best in Pacific Northwest and the best for peers. And we just got another best, and I saw the email saying I cannot announce it. So you probably can guess, but you will hear that later. We will be the best treated school in many categories. And, in order to support our students, we don't just tell them, come to school, sign up for classes. We want to do everything for them, just like what you do. So food security has been a problem on campus. We have so many students. They work very hard, come to school, but then they worry about without anything on their table when they got home. So in 2019, we worked with, this is right before the pandemic, we worked with Nourish to deliver groceries every Thursday to our campus. And we have a very successful fire services program. So we ask those students to assist the food truck come in, deliver, and manage all of this logistics. And that service is not only for students. Our employees can also grab some groceries, and as well as the neighbor community members. And now we are working on work with Good Roots Northwest to install the food lockers at our South Campus. We're going to have a ribbon cutting event next week. So those food lockers are amazing, like Amazon lockers. You can order your groceries online. You will get a notification at what time your food will deliver and give your code. You go there, use your code, open the locker, and then bring the food home after school. So this is, Base is the first college to have these lockers installed on campus. We will start at the South Campus because that is the largest campus of the three, and the goal is to be able to do this for other two campuses. So we are very excited to have this kind of a partnership and support from our community. And talking about that, I also met with the CEO of Tacoma Rescue Mission 2 months ago, I think. We're talking about when you build those small houses, we have different programs students can help provide, community support. We are doing that for the community for many years. Our electrician program students, we have HVAC, sheet metal, all of those students are willing and excited and trying to do things for the community. So we will have that for you. Did I do this right? Oh. Another important part to make programs successful is to have a strong program advisory committee. Each of our technical program has one committee, and the committee has to have at least 4 people, 4 members, other than the faculty and the program deans and staff. We need to have people from industry to give us advice or to check our curriculum to making sure what we are teaching still meets the industry needs. We don't just cook our own thing and think we are doing a good job. We need to making sure we support the industry by providing high quality and relevant instruction. And to support them and to show my appreciation or our appreciation, I started an annual program anniversary appreciation dinner. And it's always well received. And we always invite students and the advisory committee members to speak to let them know how much we appreciate them. And also at the same time to share the best practice as a program advisory member, how to work with our programs. And then here are some exciting news. We are building a new fire services training center at our South Campus. It will be amazing. And 87% of the power will come from solar. Yeah. Yeah, and I asked why I was giving, the blueprint or whatever. I said, that's the nicest building for the college. Where is my office? I guess I'm not that important. That is, we don't have an office for you. But that's okay. I love my college, and they don't always listen to me. That's okay. But anyway, so this would be our newest building. And in addition to the new building, we also consistently looking for new programs. As a college, we need to really check the programs that are already outdated. Years ago, we were teaching, why I started at this, that 13 years ago, we were teaching keyboarding. Now who needs keyboarding classes, right? So we need to always review the offerings we have, sunset the outdated programs and developing new programs. We started our first baccalaureate degree in public safety administration. We started this quarter, and we also submitted another new Bachelor of Applied Science degree in cybersecurity, which is very popular. Many colleges offering that. We already have an associate degree in that area. And then we also continue working on other associate degree offerings. And this year marks our 85th anniversary. So we have a lot of ideas, and we already started a lot of activities. One thing we want to do is we want to do 85 stories for 85 years. So if you know anyone who come to base, who was a student or staff member or faculty member, please remind them, please send us stories about their experience with base. And we also have these bricks we call base technical college bricks we would install on campus. And it's very funny. So I bought bricks for years ago. One day my husband came to my office and he walked to the office and he saw bricks and he said, "Oh, this is a great idea." I said, "Yeah, there is one for you." And he said, "Really?" So I point, he didn't know. I guess maybe I'm the only wife who do things not telling my husband, but I didn't tell him. But I have his name on the brick. So he was very excited. He took a picture. I said, "See, you got the credit without knowing it." I guess I'm a good wife in a way. I would love to invite every one of you to come to our 85th 85th gala, anniversary gala. It is going to be on Saturday, October 4th. We are still trying to identify a great location. Once we have everything ready, I want to make sure I share that information with you. And we are also going to have our regular annual scholarship launching and a great groundbreaking event for the fire services. It's going to be in May, and our commencement would be in June. Please visit our website. We have a lot of information there. Let me see, what else? I think that's everything I'd like to share with you. Again, I cannot say enough thank you for every one of you, not only because you're here, it's really because of you, immigrants like me have the opportunity to come to this country, get the support, grow, and be the person who we are today. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Lynn? Right there.
Lynn,
Yes.
I joined Tacoma Rotary 45 years ago. And one of my very first meetings, I was sitting at a table with Mr. Bates, who was a longtime member of our club. So I thought I would share that with you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Definitely that.
Lynn, I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Thank you so much for the passion that I can see that you have for Bates. You know, we went through a period in this country where we thought everybody needed to go to university and get higher education. So the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of young people that don't want to do that, and they want to learn some technical skills. And so to have a place like Bates where they can go and live their passion and learn their passion is wonderful, and seeing it in you is great.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Annika. A few things. First off, I loved the ending, what you said about immigrants coming to this country. As a first-generation American, my parents are both immigrants. They feel the same, and yeah, it's always very exciting and wonderful to hear that. Couple questions. So I noticed that you're looking for auction items. Are you still looking at that? And
Yes.
How would
I didn't want to make like I'm doing something sales work. I'm very good at that.
Yeah, no, I noticed that, and I would love to connect with you. I have some ideas on that. Also, do you have any student groups that do community events or outreach, things like that?
I don't have students doing community events, but we have a very active student government. I would love to connect you with them. Maybe they want to do some community events. Yeah. Let's connect. Yes.
Last one, Deanne.
Dr. Joe, you tell all of the people here about the international opportunities that you provide for the students of Bates. I think it's one of the best programs that we have.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Joe, could you use the microphone, please? Thank you.
Okay, so I lied about when I come here, I was 3. I worked in China, so I know some people there. I was in Beijing. I had a lot of connections. So I got this wonderful opportunity to send my students to China for free for 2 or 3 weeks to have a cultural and education exchange. What I did was, I know my students do not have money. So I used the foundation money to pay for their airfare. And when they get to China, when they land in China, everything is taken care of by my partners, the partner colleges. They would take care of them from food to hotel to daily activities, tours, everything. And that's one thing I tell my students. You come to Bates, you get this opportunity. And we have been sending students to China for many times. Last time we sent 20 of them. And they went to 2 colleges in 2 different cities. Like I said, my students wouldn't have the money or time to do this if there is solely on them. So I'm very glad I had the opportunity to do that for them. I wish I had connections in other countries. I don't. So that's the only country I was able to help. Yeah. Thank you.
Wait, what's the other question? And then Michelle, and then you have to answer. We'll do those last. Right.
Okay, very last 2.
Do you accept international students from other countries?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
That's good.
Then thank you for your leadership. I know that you came to Bates at a time when there was a great deal of instability after having many years of serving our community. You've been a great leader, and it was wonderful to work with you. And it's so great to see all the things that you're doing at Bates. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And then we have for you a book to go out to our little libraries. Mi Casa is my home. If you want to put an inspirational message in the front, we'll make sure that gets out in the community.
Oh, wow.
And just put your name in there.
Okay.
We'll get you. We're going to Girl Scout for you right there. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Lynn. We do have some announcements today. Number 1, please join us next Thursday, January 23rd. Oh, hold on. Election results. I turned my page too early. I'm sorry. These are people who've been selected by you, our membership, to serve on the board nominating committee and the officer nominating committee. We have Jim Merritt, Gil Quante, and Rusty Hersey for the board nominating committee. And for our officer nominating committee, we have Cindy Grady and Becky Fontaine. Thank you to all those who were willing to put onto the ballots. We appreciate it. And those committees will be meeting very shortly. I know mine meets on Monday, and we'll be having some other elections coming up to get some new officers and board members.
I accept donations.
Nobody pay attention to Gil. Now we got some announcements that we have. Next Thursday, January 23rd, look at Stacy Ogle. Our recipient for the 2025 James and Parents Lifetime Achievement Award. Make sure you book and let David know you're going to be coming to that meeting for bringing guests. That's amazing too. We're really excited to hear from Stacy and celebrate her award for that. So yay, Stacy! It's also time for nominations for the Rotarian of the Year. They are due by 5 p.m. tonight. What? We've been telling you about it for over a month now. Come on. There are some forms on your table, or you can go online to the website and fill those out as well. But we'd love to see some great names of those that you might think be worthy of Rotarian of the Year. Let's see here. We also have coming up our Community Service Award. It's award season. Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, Community Service Award, Rotarian of the Year Award. They're all around there. Providing exemplary service to our community is what this award is about. And this person will receive the Community Service Award and be honored at our meeting on Thursday, March 27th, and a contribution from our club to the favorite charitable organization of their choice. These forms are due Thursday, February 27th, and forms are in the yellow folder on the website as well. Another fun announcement, winter firesides are coming up. Those are February 13th, less than a month away from 5 to 7. Sign-up forms are available in the folders and on the website. And if you're interested in being a host, please let David know, and he'll get you in contact with the right people. Forms are due by Friday, February 7th, so please sign up and let us know if you're going to be able to make firesides so those assignments can get put out there. We all know what's happening. We already talked, Becky mentioned it a second ago, the wildfires in California. District 5280, part of the Big West, put out a message. I think you probably all received that email. But if you are interested in donating to help with those efforts, there's a QR code there. And Rotary District 5280 will put that to good use to make sure things are happening there to help restore the California area with that. And I'm sure that Becky will be glad to tell you if anything, other ways you can help too, with information about that. Let's see here real quick. We have time for some true confessions today. Is there anybody who'd like to do a true confession? There we go. There's one. There's two. It starts small, but it gets larger after that.
Yes.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'm thrilled to announce I will be retiring from banking January 31st.
Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, Dan Bogart, banking and finance commercial, soon to be retired. So.
Hi, I'm Stacy Ogle, retired. Yes. So fun to say. So, fun story. Some of us have traveled with Rotary internationally. And I know some of you who have hosted exchange students have amazing international relationships with people. I'll try to tell this really quickly, but when I went with Malaria Partners International to Zambia my first time in 2019, I sat at a Rotary event that was a braai, a barbecue, and I sat down with a couple and their 13-year-old daughter that were from there and met with them and visited. And their 13-year-old daughter and I used WhatsApp to pen pal back and forth. Then COVID hit, so she was home from boarding school. That family became family to Ed and I. And when I was back there in 23, they drove 7 hours down to visit me in Lusaka, and we just connected. So their oldest daughter, Victoria, got a full ride scholarship to Grambling State University. So she flew from Zambia here to be with Ed and I on December 30th, spent a week with us for the holidays, and then she and I flew to Louisiana to get her settled in her dorm room at Grambling State. So it was such an amazing experience. And now, of course, she'll spend her holidays with us and some of her summer, and her little sister is 2 years behind her, so she'll be right there too. But the benefit of traveling internationally, in any case, but Rotary particularly, because you've got friends immediately when you meet them. And so really, really enriched my life. I just thought I should share that.
So this is sort of a combination of things, a little bit of a true confession and a challenge to all of you. When we do the land acknowledgement in the beginning, I'm always struck with the fact that I'm part of that group of people. My ancestors came here in 1860 to Steilacoom and took possession of 600 acres of land through the Homestead Act. Land, of course, that was not freely ceded. And so I'm always reminded of that when we do that little thing. And then last night, I was asked at a meeting, Jim Tanas's house, about a resolution I'm going to make for myself for this coming year. And I know a lot of us are doing that. And I try very hard to be respectful of the land and the water that we have here. And I'm going to challenge all of you to think about what you can do to improve your idea of conserving these lands that the Puyallup people and the Nisqually people and all the other tribes in the area have always done to preserve the land and the water. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sharana Kildun, and I'm here as a proud mom today to brag a little bit about my kiddos. My son, who is an 8th grader at Truman Middle School, got a Truman Titan Award this morning, and I wasn't allowed to come. And so because I couldn't be there, because it was going to be so embarrassing, I am going to brag about him right here. And I'm so proud of my 13-year-old. The second thing is my daughter is turning 11 next Friday, and all she wanted to do was go on a mom getaway, something the two of us. So we are going to San Francisco. If anybody has ideas of what we should do, please come let me know. I've never played there. Thank you.
Well, I've been traveling a lot for in connection with Rotary, but I missed your confessions about that. So I'll report on my post-Christmas vacation to Maui with 2 sons, 1 daughter-in-law, and 6 grandchildren, and the 10 of us had a great time.
Thank you for those who did the true confessions today, and thank you all for being here today for our first meeting back with you for the year. We have some thank yous, of course, for people who helped out with the meeting today. We'll make sure we thank Randy for doing our tech over there. Jessica Pecora for doing the land acknowledgement today. Paul Wagner reflection. Of course, Len for giving our wonderful program today from Bates Technical College. And Jim, who's our story writer, and John Schneider, who was our meeting sponsor, and Becky for celebrating birthdays. Thank you all for helping. If you want to help out at any of those functions yourself, please let David know. We're always looking for volunteers who want to help with some of the functions here. Kathy, did I say your name? Yeah, okay. And Dean, thanks for the 4-way test. I have 2 different things over there, and are really good 4-way ones, so thank you, Dean. That's all we have to say for today, other than go out and enjoy Magic Rotary. Meeting adjourned.
I'll figure it out. Hey, how's it going?
Sponsorship, whatever you get for I like to do the 20 grand. I think I'd like to do something
And then I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna drop you an email that we talked about the Chamber of Commerce at the exec meeting, and we're moving it to the board.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
On TV.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I wonder if we might need to get a new HDMI cable.
Yeah.
Try different cables.
And this is weird because the coloring is really bad.
Something's going on. Yeah, maybe new HDMI cable might be a
David, do you want to make a deposit for these true confessions? There's
I got
$65 in cash.
Cool. This is Fred.